Hello to everyone out there. Honest Abe here with Smoking Cigars, and it is that time. Joining us tonight with my gang, we got the man they call the GOAT, still stuck around. He's like herpes. We'll never get rid of him. Is my boy, Alex Tabella. And sitting in is the big man, guy who actually I have now officially not become the biggest man in the shop. Our boy, King Richard.
That's impressive.
King Richard Garcia, and of course, our host with the most here to talk about all things Summer of Saka. The man himself, the myth, the mountain, Steve Saka. And there he is.
The mountain.
The mountain. The man, the myth, the mountain. There we go. I wasn't used to the shorter. I almost got caught off guard. I wasn't used to the shorter time. I'm so used to KMA. I was still
KMA
sharing
5 minute. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still sharing this when this went live, but I guess I've shared it to enough people by now. So, Steve, first off, before we get into all things Summer of Saka, we got a lot of things to talk about. You tell, bro, because you don't take that many trips. And I know it was your 40th anniversary, right? And God knows Cindy Saka deserved it of all people. How was that trip?
It was a great trip. And look, sometimes you just do things where you just say, I'm going to say, screw the cost and not worry about it and just do everything top. And luckily, we're at a point in our lives where we've been blessed to be able to do that. And we hadn't taken a real vacation in 3 years. And to be honest with you, I probably would have done this one had I not been stuck with some stranded airline tickets that had to be used. But no, it was good. It was a good trip. I mean, but you know how it is. I mean, it's hard when you're leaving for that long. You got so much work to do, so you're trying to bang out so much before you go. And then you go, and when you come back, it's just total hellscape, right?
I got a little advice for you, Steve. So I love those kind of trips, and thank Lord that we could do those kind of trips now, because you and I have both probably had plenty of trips where we're like, all right, where's the cheapest hotel? Where's where are we staying? What are we doing?
Most travel is that way. I don't look. The only thing I spend money on is I sit up front in the plane because my ass doesn't fit in coach. It hasn't for 20 plus years. That's the only place that you could consider it a splurge, but it ain't a splurge. It's just a physical reality. Okay, it's just simple. You can't put this in between these two lines. So
I used to buy 2 coach seats.
Yeah, I never did that.
I had to. I couldn't afford a first class ticket early on, and I'd buy 2 coach seats. You know, unless if I was dating somebody or in a relationship, I wouldn't, because I would just take like a third of whatever girl I was with seat. You know.
So wait, it's actually cheaper to buy 2 coach seats than a first class
Typically,
seat.
Yeah.
Probably in most circumstances, yeah. You know, it absolutely is. Yeah. So
the problem with buying coach seats, though, of course, is you got the crack between the seats riding into your ass the whole flight.
Right, but when you can't fly first class, I mean, that was because I used to play the game. I'm going to tell you what happened. I used to play the game of just trying to get there early and begging the woman at the terminal, if there's any empty seat, can you please put it next to me? That's the best I could do.
Right.
And then the ultimate nightmare happened in 2022. I was going to Jordan for my brother's wedding. I was the best man. And not only was there not one open seat on that plane, they stuck me next to like a rugby player. Yeah. Who's as big as me. And I think I can dig up this photo. And you know when you get to the back corner of the plane? You know when you get to the
yeah.
Well, yeah. Not just that, but we were the one right like behind the bathroom, so it was only a 2-seater. Bro, everybody on the plane was laughing the whole fucking ride. me and him sitting like, I got a picture of it. I'm gonna dig it up. Me and him sitting like this next to each other the whole flight. They were laughing. They said maybe one of us should switch to the other side of the plane so it would fly level. I mean, we were the entertainment for the whole flight. It was a miserable like fucking 16 hours. And I stopped playing the game. I just started buying.
And that's where I had my breaking point. I had a flight before I got in the cigar business. I was flying from LA to Houston, and I was in a coach seat the whole way back. I was literally just like my thighs were squeezing the living daylights out of my balls the entire flight. And I said to myself, my God, I got to lose 75 pounds or I got to fly up front. Well, you see the decision I made. And that was just where it was. And I build it into the cost. It's what it has to be. It's like I said, it's the only place that I really splurge travel wise. I don't really splurge anything else. But Cindy and I took an amazing vacation for our 30th. We went to Scotland for 3 weeks. You know, we did take a couple weeks. We took like 5 days on the back end of Dortmund to visit Switzerland a couple years ago. So I guess that was a vacation, really, but not really. For a trade show, and you're beat up from the trade show, and then you're just trying to.
That's right.
It's not the same. You know what I mean? Is hey, I'm going just on vacation. I'm not going there to do any work at all.
What was that? Intertabac, right?
Yeah, it would be Intertabac.
But you went on a bourbon run too for like a few days. I remember that.
Went where?
On a bourbon run?
Yeah,
that was like 3-4 days with Jeff, like over a long weekend thing. Yeah, no.
Sometimes those help you recharge, though.
Right. That's what you.
It didn't help me recharge, but where that helps is, as you well know, Tanya and Cindy are friends. For those that don't know, Tanya is Jeff's wife at Corona Cigar. So Tanya, Brandy, Abe's wife, and my wife, they all get together really well, right? They really genuinely like one another. And just as we like each other too. And so that was more me saying to Jeff, hey, Jeff, Cindy needs a break, man. Next time you go on one of those trips to Kentucky, you're going to take Tanya. Yeah, can I mooch along so Cindy can come and hang out with Tanya for a few days and, you know, just get a little – because, look, it's a hard business, right? I mean, your wife gets it, but I think my wife's probably getting it a little bit more now because she's in the daily grind every day. And
she gets it now. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of good that really. I mean, it's work. I mean, it's work. It's, you know, look, you have customers, I have customers, and sadly for her, she's the one that's on the pointy end of the spear with the customers, right? So she's dealing with their lunacy, because if it wasn't her dealing with it, we would have no customers, because I would just tell everyone to drop dead and we'd be basically a company with no one to sell cigars to. So
I got to be honest. I got to be honest with you too. I mean, we were a little more organized and, ready for it this year, but last year, we weren't really ready for the summer of Saka. Even though it was the second year of doing it, it was the first rendition of how we did it. Right. And I mean, we were calling her 3 to 4 times a week, running out of stuff, missing stuff, short on stuff. And I'm going to tell you, man, she was a trooper for that whole summer. Her and Matt Briggs dealt to each other every other day.
And a lot of times the stuff wasn't really missing. It was just still in transit because you just ordered it and you're constantly getting stuff in. And you know what I mean? It was just, there was so much flux.
Yep.
It was messy.
Yeah. No,
this year it was messy for us. We ran out of swag. You totally sucked us dry, right? It was a scramble for everything. I mean, what we had
that was the plan.
I mean, we ended up delaying the Pataperos. People had to wait a couple months, some of them, in order to get the Pataperos. And, it's a real hassle for you, because now you got to pack a separate package to this customer with the extra shipping
we double shipped a lot of Pataperos. We double shipped a lot of Pataperos last year.
I mean, it's just, but there's no way to predict how these things are going to go, right? You have no idea. You say, hey, I think it's going to do this. And I mean, I look back at those original estimates and we blew through those 4 or 5 times over.
We grossly underestimated. I remember I was somewhere. I wasn't home, because I remember you and I were emailing at 2 a.m, and I was in a hotel room somewhere. I remember and can't remember where the fuck I was, but we were going over stuff and we're trying to estimate, because we wanted to make sure that you'd have enough of certain things.
Right.
And we grossly underestimated on a few of those brackets. So
yeah, it's look, and here's the funny part. You went through the exercise this year, making all your own custom swag, so you wouldn't have to worry about it. Plus you have something unique for the customers, and you're going to find out, did you make too little or did you make too much? I mean, it's in your case, it's even harder because it's branded summer of, at least,
So I don't think anybody cares.
Yeah, but no, yeah, they really don't care. But I literally told everybody in the warehouse, because when we make cool shit, they always ask me, "Hey, can I take this? Can I take?" I'm like, "Yeah, take one." I literally put a big statement out. Nobody could take no fucking summer of Saka shit. When it's over and we had enough for everybody, you can have what you want. But I mean, we're scared to run out, because we don't have the luxury now that we did last year, where, hey, Steve, we need another 50 things, and you had a big
you're
supply.
putting the burden on me right now.
Well, yeah.
I like this much better. This scenario is way better for me.
Yeah, for you it is. Yeah, this is all custom made shit. So if we run out, we're in deep doo-doo.
Because you just can't make that stuff at a drop of a dime. You know what I mean? It's not. It's like you had to plan it months in advance. You had to place an order. You do everything. So it takes forever. So there's no quick fix to when you run out of stuff like that. It's not like with cigars. I mean, we're constantly making cigars. There's cigars coming every month in container. Every month. Some months there's 2 times they're coming. So, I mean, we run out of cigars. Okay. It's going to be back ordered, but you're going to get the cigars. It's different when you run out of hats or little Saka Squatch statues or something like that, because, I mean, the cheapest you get as soon as you get a Saka Squatch statue is 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for the point you say, hey, I need 1,000 of these, you're looking at 4 to 5 months minimum on something they've already made. Now, if it's the first time they made it, you need way longer than that to make the first one. But yeah, so I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. You got no control over it.
So before we get into the nitty gritty, I need to know, what was your favorite part of your trip? Because you posted a lot of beautiful moments.
He did.
I didn't post many. Like everyone else with the phone. I mean, we took hundreds of photos, but nobody likes to see hundreds of photos of other people's vacations. I think my favorite part was probably going up to the cliffside, because we just had a beautiful place that overlooked the ocean. Just sitting there and smoking cigars peacefully, and just smoking for the sake of smoking and not smoking for the sake of work. That was really nice.
That's a luxury that most people won't understand.
Right.
Well, because it's the part that they get to enjoy, right? I mean, that's why they smoke cigars, is to relax. Most of my cigar smoking is not relaxing. Most of it's like, what's wrong with this? How's this wrapper crop? This new blend? Why does it taste this way? What's going on with the draw on this product? I mean, yeah. So, I mean, a lot of it is it's just work smoking. So that was nice where I was just smoking to smoke. And then the other thing that I think, I mean, every part of the trip was good, but I think the thing that was that boat ride along the Amalfi Coast, that was pretty cool. I mean,
never been there. Heard it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. I'll tell you what, though, it's really crowded. I'm glad we didn't stay in Positano or Amalfi in a hotel. I'm glad that I had the wherewithal to be able to rent a separate home that was actually in between the two. But the problem with that is then that puts you in a position where you need to drive. And driving on the Amalfi Coast, look, I drive all over the world. I drive in a lot of places people say I shouldn't drive. They're right about the Amalfi Coast. It's crazy. In fact, like the first 3 days, you're like, almost every curve feels like you're going to have a near-death experience. I mean, very skinny roads. Wow. They're on the cliffside, and the southern Italian drivers are very aggressive, and they really don't cotton to you being cautious. So it takes you a while, and you also start to learn that, you know, it's kind of like who has the right of way. And I finally asked the guy, you know, I don't understand this. You know, this doesn't make any sense to me. And the guy's like, it's very simple. He with the strongest will in his eye has the right of way. Okay,
you're right.
So
you're right.
And once you start to embrace that and be as aggressive as they are, it actually becomes much easier. But it's very, very hard to do in a country where the road's so skinny. I mean, let's put it this way. I whacked the mirror 4 times, 2 times on the cliff side, 1 time on a barrier, and 1 time on a guy that his backpack swung out in the street. I mean, that's how tight it was. 2 inches mattered. I mean, it was crazy tight.
What were you driving? Because I'm going to assume it wasn't a Fiat.
No, I ended up getting like a mid-sized Maserati.
Is that the one you smoked the blue in?
That's the one I smoked the blue in. Yeah. Here's the thing: the rental cars are so egregiously overpriced that when I went down to get my rental car, it was an Opel. I don't know if you guys know what an Opel is. An OPEL.
That's like a little itty bitty car.
Yeah, this was kind of a mid-sized one, and I'm just looking at this going, man, this thing costs so much to rent for 2 weeks. This is absurd. I'm like, you know what? I'm in Italy. How much more if I upgrade to that? And it was like another, it's like 600 euros. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to take that. Why not? Right? Why am I going to be driving this shit box Opel, which I don't even know where Opels are made. It looks like some Eastern European country. I probably should Google it before I speak ill of the brand. They may be great cars, but I mean, but yeah, I'm like, but I can tell you now, having driven that car, I would never buy a Maserati. I wasn't impressed. I really wasn't. I was like, yeah, I don't think it just seemed like a Dodge with better branding on it. A little bit better, better fit, better finish, nicer interior, but it didn't feel like a fancy sports car in any way to me.
Dodge. I know. I'm trying to keep up with the questions. We got so many comments going through. So before we get into the nitty gritty, which I'm sure everybody's here, I start taking on questions of. I'm at home, so you guys could probably heard the doorbell. I apologize.
German.
My fucking son.
Opel's German.
Can you tell him not to ring the doorbell? Richard Garcia, you're a member of our team, obviously, who wasn't around the last summer of Saka, and you obviously have had experience in this industry, working with 2 major players in this industry in the past. And being that you're a guy who actually has privy, because the consumers see all this magic happen, right? The ordering, the stuff getting added to the carts, the levels, but being privy, have you ever in your career in this industry seen a promotion of this magnitude or level?
No. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, people hyping up, talking about it. I'm saving money. I'm going to take out loans, mortgages, you know. And it's at one point you kind of think they're joking, but then you're like, no, there might be some truth behind all of it.
Yeah, you hope there's not truth to that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But have you ever seen a company put this kind of effort or thinking or thought or work? Because you work for two major players.
No, I did. And you know what? I'm grateful every day that I'm here. And it's like, this is just, there's a couple of us, or I say us, because I still include myself in that category, but this is a masterpiece. Like, this is a well drawn out plan, hoping everything goes well and gets executed correctly. But the work that goes behind it, the art, because at the end of the day, this is all done for you guys. You know what I mean? For the consumers, this is done for all. So it's nice to see it. It's nice to see it go into fruition. And
don't sell it as a charitable act, for God's sakes. It's not like he's giving those stuff away for free.
but you know what?
Listen,
I'm not gonna.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something though. We have the most fun doing it though.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you that.
Quick question just occurred to me. What time does the sale go live tomorrow?
Noon Eastern Standard Time.
I'd probably send Wheeler a little email now. Get a little juice boost on the server.
Get a little juice boost. Yeah, Rich could do that.
You got Wheeler. I would do it now because they're in Cali. They can get it set up just on the office.
All right, so we're going to start breaking down the summer of soccer for anybody. So this is the time. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Alex, you and Rich and Steve got to have to pay more attention to that because I'm going to the brand screen for the images. So I'm going to lose viewing the comments right now. But the main thing is we made a couple changes. One thing we're good at smoking, whether it's a great smoke, summer of soccer clause, or anything else, we always like to look at how something could be better. And one of the things we looked at last year was we tweaked a lot of things to make it a lot better for the consumers. And look, there was no issues with the success of last year's event, but anytime we could make things translate better, I mean, like simple things like last year, you had to, email us or write in the customer notes which mug you wanted, which colored beanie you wanted, and then the customer would forget, and then we couldn't ship the product to at least heard from the customer, and then we'd have to send them an email. It's just the process is too much. So we spend a lot of time custom programming the shopping cart now. So there are two levels, which we're going to go over them now, level 2 and 3, where you get to make a choice. And when you make a choice, it'll actually add it to your order, and the shipping department could pull the right stuff, and no one has to see it. So here is the tier levels. So if you have any questions, now's the time to bog them up. But here is the tier levels. Okay. So we bumped it down to 8 to 5. Okay. Now, just to give you a little strategy, because, Honest Abe is here always to help you out, right? You really should be placing your orders near the 2, 4, 6, 8 mark, or the 1,000 mark, right? To place an order for $320. I mean, I can't tell you how many orders we saw that were like $40 or $20 short from the next level. This is all automated. Okay. The team's moving fast. They're looking at what they got to pull. They're looking at what you get. They're throwing it in a box, so if you are $2 off from the next level, they're not looking at that. They're looking at what they got to pull, what free goods goes in the box, and it goes in the box. So a little strategy here, don't place a $200 and a $320 order. It just makes no sense at that point. You just stay closer to 2 or break it over 4. But at level 1, which is a 2 to 400, we base these on basically the pot of Paros, right? You get your pot of Paro, which you get with every $200 at Dunbarton. On top of that, you're going to get a beanie. Okay. And we're going to have images of all these products. Okay. And the beanie is going to happen in every order. So no matter what you order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're going to get your beanie, and the beanie color will change from month to month, and we'll talk about that later. And then you're going to get a Squatch sticker, and the sticker's another item that will change from June, July, August. At level 2, you get 2 pot of Paros. You get your beanie. You get the Grow a Squatch figurine, which is actually a joke somebody posted in our Smoking Social Facebook group, which, by the way, we got a lot of viewers out there right now. Steve Saka made an amazing post talking about how good our group is and how much he enjoys spending time with it. It really is a great group. If you're not a member of Smoking Social on Facebook, go join it. The guys in Smoking Social were privy to this data like weeks ago and had time to look things over. So we do a lot of special things for our socialites, as we call them. So just go on, look on Facebook, Smoking Social. We'd love to have you join our community. So it was a joke that somebody posted, so I went out and bought a bunch of them. So you get that at level 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the sticker. Now here's where it becomes interesting. At level 2, when you spend $400, you get your choice of an SOS mug, which will be the mug of the month. So this month is purple. We'll show you the color sequence. You get the King Squatch statue or the SOS caps. And I will show you the caps now. I'm going to hide the screen for a second. So this has been the big talk, right? This has been the big talk. It's always hard to figure out the screen. There we go. Right. And you can see it. You can see it next to the his and her version now. That's what I like to call them.
Oh, man.
But, you know, last year when we decided to give away a 6-foot live one, we had to call it the King Squatch, right? The king of all squatches. He's huge. But we really worked on the design. And instead of matching this, we actually created, this is our own unique version that our team created of an actual King Squatch. And he's literally going to be the mascot of Summer of Saka for years to come. So this is the figurine you get to choose at the $400 mark or whichever other item you want. Some people don't want a figurine.
One thing, Abe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, when it says one pot of Pero, that's really a
I was just going to adjust that.
It's 2 pot of Peros. So it's still the same twin cigar. You're not just getting one pot of Pero. You're getting one 2-count coffin that contains 2 pot of Peros.
Yes. We kind of made the assumption by now. Anybody who follows you kind of knows what it is, but you're right.
There's 1 or 2 new people here.
Yes, last year we made the distinction because it had just come out. We were the first to kind of promote it, and we told everybody these are 2-packs. So it's actually a beautiful, and you'll see the image coming up soon. But it's a beautiful, and it's almost 2 A-size cigars. So I mean,
it's 2 A-size cigars.
Yeah. So at level 2, you get to make that choice of any of those 3 items. At level 3, you get the 3 pot of Peros, the beanie, the Grow Scotch sticker, and you get to choose 2 of those items. So you get the statue and the cap, the statue and the mug and the cap. We really tried to make this versatile so consumers could really get what they wanted and not what they didn't want.
Could somebody choose 2 mugs if they wanted?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking, when you're at level 3 and you get a choice of 2, are you allowed to 2 mugs?
No, actually,
I saw that question go by in the chat. So somebody was asking, "Hey, when I get to level 3, could I have 2 King Squatch statues and not take a mug or a cap?"
So multiple reasons why. First off, I'll be honest and say I didn't think of it, right? Because that would have just required some different coding and probably could have been done. But also, I probably wouldn't have done it anyway because all of this stuff is custom made. We looked at last year's numbers, padded some numbers, and we based it on the orders of what level hit. So I have to kind of guesstimate what we needed. And if I allowed that kind of thing to happen,
there's
no my ability to try to
get anything there, you'd run out of a certain way quicker.
Yes, it could go down. So to know that a level 2 order, only one of these could go, or level 3 really would have been key. So I don't think even if I thought about it, I would have allowed it to happen. So it would have been problematic, I think, in the long run. So at level 3, you get 2. Now here's a sweet spot. If you hit level 4, right, you're gonna get 4 pot of Peros, which are 8 cigars. You get the beanie, you get the Grow Scotch, and then you get all 3. You get your mug, your statue, your cap, your 2024 sticker, all in there. And the numbers on the right are the smoking logos kind of covering it, but those are your entries. So we have a weekly drawing every Friday that we give away, and we'll go over that. We're going to give away 5 prizes every Friday, but those are people who place the orders for the week. So you're not competing with everybody. You're only competing with people who placed orders on Friday to Thursday midnight, and then Friday we do the drawing for that previous week. All right? But you add all these entries throughout the whole summer for the grand finale. So if you placed a level 1 order in June, you got 4 entries for that weekly drawing. But if you placed another, say, level 2 order in August, you got 10 entries for that weekly drawing, but you got 14 entries for the grand finale. So that's how that works. And of course, the big baller status was the level 5, which last year was level 8, where you get 4 pot of Peros, you get the beanie, you get the Grow Squatch, you get 2 prototype cigars that Steve Saka had sent us that we also will throw in the mix. You get your SOS mug, your statue, your cap, your sticker. And because Steve and I, honestly, were both overwhelmed, and honestly, this was Steve's idea. I think he posted about it today. We were so overwhelmed with people who actually hit the top tier. He wanted to make something special. So I kind of came up with the idea with a baller status coin. I thought it'd be something cool for people to achieve. So to we pitched in, and we're throwing this pretty cool coin. I think I have it here as an image. Here is your baller status, top level achieve baller status Dunbarton coin that you get with the level 5. So that kind of breaks down all the levels. All right. Any questions I have to address, or can I move on here?
Hey, throw
No, I think we're
back
good.
up again. I haven't seen the coin in that detail. I just want to.
It's kind of dark. I think I posted a better image in Facebook, but it's a pretty blinging looking coin.
Pretty cool.
Very
Yeah.
impressive. Very impressive.
We like the oval shape. I thought it would be distinctive and unique. Everybody's
Different.
coins are round these days. We thought it'd
Yeah.
be different. It kind of looks. You'll get your whole care package before the program's over.
Awesome.
So now let me go to the weekly drawings. We talked about the weekly drawings. Okay, this is what's going to be given away every Friday. The Goat and I will get on at 6:30. And we're going to pull all the orders that are placed once again from Friday to the Thursday midnight. And then that next Friday, we're going to give away 5 items. One is going to be the elusive Guillotina de Saka cutter, which we know everybody wants. We're going to give away 1 D&T prototype hat. Steve was very cool to send me a dozen hats of various styles and stuff that he didn't choose or didn't make more of. So these literally are one-of-one hats.
Yeah, we
There's an
might
image-
make some of them in the future, but they were just done to see what they looked like and take photos of the ones we like, and not take photos of the ones we didn't like, so we know not to order those. But there's like the photo that you have in the hat, the picture you have in the hat you have in the picture. I like it. Nobody else in my office seems to like it, so it's kind of like one of those things.
Oh, it's nice. Believe me, it's nice. We've talked about it at least back here in the office when we saw it.
I think it's a cool hat, but I think everybody in the office thinks it's a little bit too urban, I guess is the proper way to phrase it. But I like it a lot.
So, Jason, we're giving away a cutter every Friday. Every Friday, we're giving away one of these cutters, one of these hats. And I'm giving away 3 2-packs of the DTT EX 127 that Steve has made for our rare and vintage room. So unless you come to the mothership and go in our rare and vintage room, you can't get these cigars, which, by the way, I got to check on our email, Steve. I actually looked at my inventory today. Almost gone. So I hope that next batch is not too far away.
Yeah, I have to check on the status of that.
But yeah, because I literally had to pull the cigars for this promo for the whole summer, and I looked, I said, ooh, not that many left. So you can either get a 2-pack of our rare and vintage Dunbarton EX 127. We're going to give away 3 of those every Friday. We're going to give away a prototype one-of-a-kind DT and hat, currently one-of-a-kind, and a cutter. Now remember, only people who place an order will be in the weekly entries for that week. Now, you can place 3 different times, and you're in 3 different times for the weekly drawings, but these are only for people for that week. So the competition pool is a lot less than obviously at the end of the summer, giving more people a chance to win something. So that being said, that covers that. Now let me go here. So here's some of the images of the swag series. So you can see the baller coin there, the little grow Squatch figurine, some prototype cigars that Steve sent us. There's a nice photo of the Pot of Pero, the King Squatch. That Summer of Saka sticker will change every month. I have a series of them. This is what they're going to look like. We have 3 every month. These are the official Summer of Saka 24 stickers. So every month, even something as simple as a sticker, I didn't want people to all have like 3 or 4 of the same stickers. So we actually went to that detail to create a different sticker for every month. So this is the sticker that we'll be giving away this month. And these are the color options. So when you have to choose, and this is on the product page when you go place the order, the promo page. So the images that were there are actually what you're going to choose from. So you'll be able to choose from the figurine, the purple cap, or the purple mug. Those are the 3 options for the month of June, and they'll change through July and August, which will show you more there. So here's the beanies. So we're starting with the purple in June, then we go to the orange in July, we go to the blue in August, which basically any order level 1, 2, or 3, you're going to get that. You obviously seen the King Squatch figurine live. Here are our mug series, which are pretty cool. Actually, you know what? A lot of people have been saying they're not fans of the color purple. I like that purple mug. I think if we have any left over, that's kind of one of my favorite mugs on there. So
I like the shape of the purple mug. It's got to hold a lot of coffee.
yes. So So the purple will be June, orange will be July, and the blue, which is actually my second favorite, will be in August. And then a little close-up of our different hats. These are made by the same company Steve has his hats made on. That's the June cap. That's the June.
Hey, real quick, go to that last one, just because maybe
This
people
one?
can't tell, watch it on their phone. Yeah, that's actually, it's not purple all the way through. It's white on the sides, correct?
Yes. You could see where the brim kind of,
Yeah, you can
we
see
should have
the
put it on a
little-
colored
on
background.
them.
Yeah. So that is a white and
I
purple
like that.
cap. Yeah. It's funny because we did what you did and we ordered them in different color patches.
Yeah.
But because you could see, we actually picked the light color patch for one. This is going to be July, excuse me. And this one, we made it in both the dark and the light just looked better. Everybody kind of agreed on the team that
No, it looks good with the blue, the light.
yeah, the light looked good with the blue. So that's going to be August. Now, also, of course, we have the Epics giveaway that we do at the end of the Summer of Saka. I think September 6th. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I might say it here. No, it doesn't say on this page, but we say it somewhere. But we're going to do a podcast. It's typically about 90 minutes long where Steve and I bullshit and our man Alex just sits there and rambles through 125 raffles in a little window on the side. We pick winners, but we got some epic prizes. Of course, coming back is the 6-foot King Squatch figurine. So this is an exact replica, 6 feet tall. We posted pictures on Facebook of this guy here, and it's massive looking.
Insane.
It's massive looking. So if you win that, that's a grand prize. We'll ship it anywhere in the continental U.S. for free. If you're Hawaii or Alaska, we'll get it to the border, and then you can make your arrangements on how to get it to you.
Or you could just sell it to Steve Saka and let him.
I was wondering if you were going to put a bounty on that one.
He did already, Alex.
I
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with two of them? You're going to put them outside the office like
Yeah,
lions?
of course, man. I mean, you're going to keep making these every year, right? I guess you're going to stick with this one,
In
though, right?
fairness, there's
This
two of
is
them,
the-
like two giant lions in the shop as well right now.
I know, but that's only because we revamped it, and this is the one we got to have in the store, right? So we actually have our old one for sale. By the way, it's up for sale if anybody wants the old 6-foot figurine for sale. But hey, you want two matching ones to put in front of your doorway, Steve?
I was going to say that.
Absolutely. We're at the foot of the master bed, right?
Yeah.
Sure, Cindy won't mind.
No, but what I am going to do next year, Steve, because while this is cool, right, and badass, we might change the pose. So at least every year it's kind of
Got
a
it.
unique figurine, right? Something a little different.
What are you going to do with your 3-foot mega squatches? Are you going to make king squatches in that size? Is that your plan? Because I'm waiting for you to choke on the cost of that. I know how much that costs. But then again, you spent $9,000 on one, so it'll be chump change, right?
The little ones, I'm trying to guess right now because they charge by square foot, 3 feet. They're not 3 feet; they're like 2.5 feet.
Yeah, they're like 2 foot 8 inches.
So they'll probably be about $2,500 to $2,800 each.
They're pretty expensive.
The little ones, yeah. So going back to this, so then on top of that, these are a list of all the other prizes. If you go to the Summer of Saka page, in fact, Alex, if someone could post a link in the chat, all this information is there to read at your leisure. We got a lot of stuff. So we gave a dream seat that wasn't supposed to be in the raffle last year. I think those seats are like, I can't remember, but like
$1,300 value. It says on the screen.
yeah, yeah, there you go. $1,300 value. We threw that in last minute because the program was just way more successful than we anticipated, that we just said, hey, you know what? Let's throw in another epic prize. This year, we're going to design one that's going to have the Summer of Saka logo, DT logo on it. So it's going to be cool. I'm going to get Steve involved. So it's not just a smoking branded seat. We got the golden mega squatch. We got 2 regular mega squatches. This is pretty badass. Now, we just got this today.
Yeah.
I posted it on Facebook. This is pretty badass. I know Steve wants one of these. This I won't have to send you, but I can make you one.
That's real money.
This color scheme came out awesome.
Perfect.
You can't see it from this photo, but you can see in my post. There's huge D&T logos on the right and left side. This is a big cooler. It's a big cooler. That's going to be on the prize list. We got a lot of cool stuff. I may as well just show you the pictures now. The tumblers that we made last year. This is this year's version of Summer of Saka. We also have the Cigar XI1 Perfect Cutters, this year's version of Summer Saka that we're giving away. That's the one size cool Forest Scene Row logo. That's the other side. So we have some really cool stuff that's unique and custom that we're making. So that was the cooler. Now we're giving away a whole 7-count box of black unicorns, a whole 7-count box of blue unicorns, a 7-count tray of OG unicorns. We're giving away 22 packs of chubby unicorns, and then we're giving 10 Brulee unicorn cigars individually, 10 black cigars individually. Same rules as last year. The guy who wins the last one gets the box with it. So this is kind of cool. These were actually, if Evan Darnell, you're watching, somebody tag Evan Darnell. Evan Darnell donated these, and they're, when he comes to me to give me something, it's always like, okay, am I really going to end up wanting this? Right? He thinks it's a great idea, and then he shows up in my office like, yeah, okay. But this is pretty badass. So I think I got to look back. I think we're giving away 12. Was it 12 of these?
10 of them.
10. He made some really Kanzen, some Japanese company, but he's got these pretty badass, and they're different designs. And I just grabbed one leaving the office, but some are really even cooler than this. Look at these freaking butcher knives. I don't know if you can see the pattern on this blade.
See if I can get you up closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Damascus steel, definitely.
Yeah.
Bro, look at that.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is actually pretty badass. So these are some RML branded, Red Meat Lovers Club branded knives. So we got 10 of these as prizes. Thank you, Evan Darnell. Deeply appreciated.
Thank
If
you.
you're not a follower or part of the Red Meat Lovers Club group, please check it out. Okay, especially if you're a vegan, you'll have a lot of fun in that group. Let's see what else we got on this list here of prizes. Then we got the 10 stone ashtrays, which everybody knows and loves. 10 crystal ashtrays, 10 signed canvases. We showed you the thermal tumblers. We showed you the perfect cutters, and then we have 6. These are the last of them. We made. I don't have an image of it here, but we made 6 Saka Squatch.
I get the reference, Paulie.
I feel like the comment below by Matt. That's the one I like. That's what it made me chuckle.
So, I forgot what the fuck I was saying. But either way, you can see it's 125 epic prizes, and that's kind of Summer of Saka in a nutshell, unless I forgot something.
I have one operational question.
Yes.
Did I already send you the chubby unicorns?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
I don't think I have any. That's why.
Yes.
As you're
Yes.
saying that, Steve's like, oh, what? What again?
I'm like, wait a minute. Chubby unicorn.
Grand prize drawing will be September 4th.
Awesome.
September 4th, 6:30 p.m. It's going to take about 90 minutes to run through the whole list, but the videos
I
stay
feel
up
like
live.
I've got it down at this point. We roll right through it.
We roll right through
I'm
it.
surprised how quick you bang out the raffles.
Yep.
Do you have a lot of stuff that doesn't get claimed?
Well, this
No, we
type
ship
of
it
thing,
automatically.
we ship it.
Oh, you have your customers' names, right?
We know who they are. They win, we ship it. The
So there
only thing that we ever give away that end up being unclaimed
TGS
prize-
is the land of unclaimed prizes for sure.
the live, not virtual.
The live
Virtual,
guys, right.
virtual typically for the Great Smoke. We send them an email. We tell them what the shipping is. They pay it. We ship it out to them. The live guys, because there's so much going on, they just don't pay attention. And there's always 4 or 5 unclaimed prizes every Great Smoke, which we just factor into the next year.
Right.
So we hope that kind of covered everything. That was a lot of stuff. Now remember, noon, not first thing in the morning. Don't wake up and say it's not up. Okay. Is the page up? Is the link up now? Did Rivers get the banner up on the homepage?
Yeah, it's up.
Okay. So the banner's right up on the homepage. You can go in there. Now, listen, there's a couple hundred people watching this thing. All right. Now, we actually put warnings, and actually Richard just checked, but if you go to any of the regular Dunbarton pages, do not place your order there. There's a huge banner on top of any page, whether you go to Mi Querida or Sober Mesa or Muestra de Saka, that says,
Do not order.
If you are participating in the Summer of Saka, do not order from this page. Click here, because you have to go to the special page that we created so we can track all the entries and everything all from one place. So,
Yep, banners are up.
all right, good. 6 a.m. Hawaii. I have a feeling you'll be up, my friend. Alarm is set. There we go. I got to tell you what, I'm kind of excited. You know what? I'm excited
You're
to
run
see.
out of statues. That's the one thing I think you might run out of.
No.
You don't think so?
Well, so here's the thing.
You're not going to run out of them tomorrow. There's not going to be enough orders tomorrow or the day after. So I'm not trying to get people to go bonkers, but I mean, what do you think about when you get to like August? I mean, I go through a lot of those little statues.
So listen, hold on. So here's the thing, man. I did it all based on logistics and numbers. I know how many I know based on where they landed, how many level 1s, 2, 3, 4, 5 we could estimate.
Right.
The only way I would run out of statues is if like no one picked a mug and no one picked a hat. No one picked a hat in either level 2 or 3. That every single person who ordered level 2 or 3 orders a statue. Then I may have the probability of running out. But I just didn't think that was feasibly possible. Mathematic me.
I don't
Statue's
know.
pretty fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, the statue's pretty fun. I feel like everybody's getting a statue plus something else.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, those 2 levels are really the highest used levels, right? They're the ones where the bulk of the ordering comes into. So the odds that every single person will pick a statue and not a mug. And you have to remember, Alex, at those 2 middle levels, a guy, God knows how many people ordered multiple times last year. So a guy may take a statue, but then come back and order again and say, I got a statue, I got the mug. So
Right.
like, look, is it possible? Yeah, but it would really be unusual if we did run out. Now, once again, you and I are infamous for underestimating shit. We did it last year, but I think it'll be tough to run out of statues. You know, I really do. Because that's, out of all the things we have, that's the hardest one to get in any respectable amount of time.
Absolutely.
The rest of the stuff I can get anywhere from 10 days to 30 days. But the statues take the longest. Should we run out?
I can replace them with girl statues, I guess, right? I mean, if I had to.
Why? You have girl statues?
What you refer to the. You did call her, so
I just said his and her version. That's all.
Yeah,
guys can have a her version.
Actually, hold that. Davis just joined. You didn't see. Hold that. Hold the new one up. I'll pop you up close. Yes, that is the Summer of Saka King Squatch new minifigurine.
It's the detail from the DT&T and the crown. Look at that. You gotta admit, looking at it with the image right next to him, they did a great job.
Favor, show me the top of his head, because all I ever saw was the one that was bald.
Right?
Hey, I got hair again.
Listen to me.
It's like literally like this.
Hold on. So here's a testament to why Steve and I like working together, because that's how detailed we are. When we got the original prototype, they never finished this part. So this is just like smooth skin. And I literally called the gentleman who makes the statues for us, like, is this like the hair club for men model? I mean, why'd you make them bald? And then we literally made them redo the prototype so that you could see the hair and the crown. And I do have a cigar by me. I won't show the label. But here's another little feature. I gotta take it out of the cello. I think it works better with a round cigar.
Show the label. I don't care.
That That's
One of my favorite things is when people post pictures of Saka Scotch statues with other people's brands. That's gotta so annoy that other manufacturer. Like, are you kidding me? There's like literally another cigar sitting on top of an Umbagog mug or sitting on top of a DT mug.
It's actually easier than it looks. My hand is shaking.
That's a very small cigar too, Abe.
Yeah, it's actually easier than it looks.
Yeah.
It's easier than it looks because my hand's shaking. But yeah, the crown does make a cigar rest. Just saying. Just saying. Unintentional perk of the statue. Yes. I ain't gonna lie. Unintentional perk. Yeah, he is on roids. This is a King Squatch. This is what listen. I always thought, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest, right? When Steve showed me this figurine, I'm thinking about doing this. I literally looked at it. I'm not gonna lie, Steve. I went, who the hell knew how popular and insane this figurine was gonna be? But it is like an awkward movement, like he's slouching, or I don't know what it was. But God knows,
I've gone through 25,000 of those suckers.
I believe it. I believe it. They've gone nuts for this thing. They really did. So, and I know it's always easier to make anybody who makes stuff, and Steve will tell you, it's always easier to see something and then say, okay, I'm going to change things and make it kind of cooler because you've had something to be inspired by and look at. So yeah, coming up with this guy was no really hard feat after the fact. But I tell you what you're really going to be impressed with, and I know you thought I was kind of full of shit today, but I'm already working on the next one, and it's going to be like insanely stupid. I won't even bother you with the details now.
I mean, Vince, why don't you tell us? You're the one that sets the market. Who are you kidding? I mean, let's be real here. You set the eBay market.
That's a classic right there.
I'll go 300.
300.
Thank you, Keith.
350. Absolutely.
Yeah, 300. That's where the original one started off before there were 25,000 of them floating around.
But it's so insane. You could for 300. Well, you don't get it for 300, actually 400. So yeah, I was gonna say you can get yourself a bunch of cigars, give them away, and get your statue that you were gonna pay for.
You can get $400.
Even if you're not, even if you're not a cigar smoker. I mean, why would anybody? But I think the people who buy them on eBay don't have a clue where it's coming from.
That's right. The people that are buying the ones off eBay are Sasquatch collectors. So they want it for their Sasquatch collection. They don't know anything about the cigars. They're like, wow, that's a real. Because really, if you look at all the Sasquatch little dolls and action figures, and the original Saka Squatch is cooler than all of the stuff that's already in the marketplace. So I think that's the reason why those would sell on eBay or did sell on eBay for so much money.
I'm going to tell you what, if these things go for like 300 or more on eBay, we actually might have a shortage on these things real quick. Shit.
Right.
That would be the best turnaround on investment I ever had in my life. Holy cow. Better than 100 for the cutter. Man, these comments are moving too fast on my screen. I can't even keep up with them. With that chain, and well, we got a King Richard comment already. All right, you're a member of the team when you start getting digs, so you're in. Congratulations, you're getting digs.
All love, Kevin. All love.
Yeah.
So I think we covered it, man. I mean, I do this. We put all the information out there. Steve knows better than anybody how much work our team puts into this, and I do this all so I don't have to deal with 8,000 personal messages of questions that the information is out there. So I'm hoping with all the people that are actually watching today that we've kind of answered. Could we get alibis for when I drive? Thinking of themed alibis before the summer's over, you should create a summer Saka alibi.
I literally just wrote that down.
Congratulations.
We're gonna come up with something cool. We will actually make it. Won't be up this week. It won't be up tomorrow. I'll tell you that. But we're going to come up with a summer of Saka. Do you know what our alibis are, Steve?
I have an inkling. The consumer can choose some sort of message. It gets thrown in the box that says, congratulations for your winning or blah, blah, blah.
Or whatever. Or a brother or leaf sends you a gift. And, we change it seasonally. Like during Christmas, this is your secret Santa or whatever. Right. So, yeah, we will create the official Summer of Saka alibi. It should be up sometime early, middle of next week. But we will create a Summer of Saka alibi. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people have fun with that. A lot of people use that straight up. They are actually concerned that their other half will get the package before they do. Let me see here. Look, I'm going to order next week when he can get the Alibi. That's how much people want the Alibi. Oh my gosh. All right. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to banter with Steve a little bit. I need to know a few things. So you posted a picture of a cigar. You didn't tell anybody what it was while you were on vacation.
Yeah, I'm working on the 10th anniversary for because look, our 10th anniversary will be next July. So I want to have a special cigar to mark the occasion. I mean, I was thinking about making a 10th anniversary Sober Mesa, but I already have a special Sober Mesa already ready to go. That we were going to make a Sober Mesa Salida Red based on the Cervantes Fino blend that I discontinued. And so I wanted to work on something that was just all new from scratch, new materials, wrapper I haven't used on other products, new fillers, just from a ground up rather than, something that's kind of a reformulation, So
which of course makes it harder for you.
Yeah, but it's the 10th anniversary. I mean, come on, you gotta
right. No, I get it.
The only thing that's negative for me is I'm leaning towards these smaller cigars, which doesn't feel like maybe the normal. Normally, when you make an anniversary cigar, it's normally like at least a Toro and often a Churchill or a double Corona. It's something really big, but I don't know, man. The blends just keep taking me into these like 5.5 to like 6-inch 48 ring gauge cigars is where I'm finding my sweet spot with them. And
that's not bad though, Steve.
Yeah, it's not bad,
like
but it's
4
not
by 48. Yeah,
but it's not. Yeah. So, but that's kind of where I'm heading. I haven't gotten to how I'm going to package it yet. I haven't even gotten to that point. So, and I have no idea how much it's going to cost because obviously if I don't know the packaging, I have no idea how much that part's going to cost. But yeah, we're going to have look. It's
that's a question for you, Steve.
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
There you go.
I mean, it's just I have to kind of figure out what materials, now that I've just finalized the blend, I'm going to Nika next week, kind of get some inventory tobacco, look through stuff, set aside the leaf that we need to start making the cigar. Because if we're going to launch it next July, I really need to get it produced starting this July. So I want the cigars to have a year of age on them. And I'm even going to be a little shy, probably. I'll probably be close to 11 months, but I'll say it's a year because I'll lie like that. But
I don't know why you're asking me this. I wouldn't know.
Those have always been scheduled for November.
Ooh, I thought it was September.
Well, they're supposed to land. Gosh, I don't even know. I think it's November, isn't it?
It might have been because I think I said that the special gift item we ordered had to be in our possession by September. Maybe that's what I'm confusing.
I gotta take a look. Why is it? That has nothing to do with Summer Saka, though.
No, I got TGS questions in here too. This is not a TGS show, but I will tell you this: the dates are final. The main dates March 15th, 2025. Now that we have a contract and we could put it out there, we're not as nervous. The Great Smoke website page is being revamped. New details and stuff should start coming up in about another week or two. And then obviously as we get closer, tickets go on sale always the beginning of November. That's all I got for you now. But at least it's March 15th, 2025. Oof.
Yeah, I'm logging into the cloud now to check what the export date is on the Lanceros. It's going to take me a few minutes, so banter more.
How much do you predict will be sold out? Yeah, well, I mean, that's more of a Steve question, and there's no way for him to answer.
On what you want. I don't know what you're gunning for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way to answer that.
Look, I will tell everybody now and Steve could tell me differently, but you listen, Steve's committed to try to keep us in stock as much as he can. He has other customers and stuff like that, but there will be gaps of us not having certain products. I could tell you that right now. In fact, we purposely haven't put a lot of product up if you've noticed any of the DT stuff out of stock, because we held it for you guys. That'll go up like Friday morning before this goes live, right? So because there's a lot of people who buy from us who don't have no clue what Summer of Saka is. They're not in the loop of the universe. And if I put that stuff up, by the time the promo starts, a lot of that stuff will be gone. So, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be hit or miss. Some stuff and I think, Steve, you could probably inform them of what are going to be the biggest difficulties. I know Red Meat Lovers Club is up there.
If you hold on a second, I will. Let me get the one answer first, and I can run you through that. So right now, the target container loadout date for the GFY samplers is actually end of September, which means if it's the end of September, they're going to probably get it to me in October, because that's just the way everything always seems to be. But if everything goes according to plan, you are correct. They should be available in October. I hope they are, but I don't rarely have any luck with that. Things are going to be problematic. I can tell you what's problematic for me right now. All Solitas are problematic for me right now. All Brulés are problematic for me right now. All Mickey Rita Blue is problematic. All Mickey Rita Red is problematic. Oddly enough, Mickey Rita Black is one of the few things that I have a reasonable inventory of. This just blow your mind. Stillwell, particularly in the aromatics, that's a tough one. And both the 1 and the number 22. The other Stillwells are pretty kosher. Bronzeback is a disaster.
Disaster.
Yeah, I mean, look, actually, all the Umagogs right now are a disaster, except for the Gordo is the only one I have. We're wiped out, man. We've just had we have more stuff constantly coming, but I mean these inventory. Let me say this: I'm at the lowest inventory level I have been in over 3 years right now, and it's not because we're making less. We're making way more than we ever have made before. But I mean, I right now have less boxes of Red Meat Lovers than some of my vendors have. You have more Red Meat Lovers in stock right now at your place than I have at my place.
Probably.
Right. But I literally have like 20,000 boxes scheduled to come in over this, during, in the near future. But it's just everything's before Summer of Saka. We're having an unbelievable year. It's been on fire. I mean, we're blessed. I mean, it's just crazy. I've never seen anything like it before in my life, and I've never seen it where it's like just so across the board. You normally have like, oh, it's Papa Saka, or oh, it's this brand or that brand, or this SKU or that SKU. We're just getting really crushed, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but it's like everything. It's a problem too, right? Too much is a problem. Too little is a problem. Everything is a problem that needs to be solved. Now, the good news is there's a container in transit now. They're loading out another container. What's the container date? The next container loadout date for this month is June 19th. So, I mean, there's containers every month. It's just sales have been really, really healthy.
So, dude, just a couple of questions I just saw coming up. So, I saw one here, but I mean, look, bro, I love you. And I can pretty much attest that no one's as masterful as manipulating their website to accommodate things like we are. We're very flexible. But there's no way we're keeping track of back orders of stuff that's not in stock. If it's not in stock, it's not in stock. You got to pick something else or wait till it comes back into stock. But there's no way we're going to keep track of, oh, you can order this and when it comes in, if it comes in. Too much. Love you, but too much. Whatever's in inventory now, pal. We got all the blue and black unicorns that we're going to get. So, whatever's in inventory now was what'll be available at the Summer of Saka.
Yeah, because there won't be any more blue or black unicorns until, probably like September, October of this year.
Mm-hmm. That's the first thing to go out.
Yeah.
Just to to address this. So
Let me get the image
I'm not
out.
exactly sure what you're asking, but your level number one is per order. So if you plan on ordering a couple times, you probably want to map that out. But as far as the swag, it only resets every month. So there's particular swag in June, particular swag in July, particular swag in August. But your levels are according to each time you order, not like if you order level 2 twice, you ordered level 2 twice. You don't bump.
Yeah,
up.
you don't get a level 4. So this is the levels all summer long. The only thing that changes is in that level 2 and 3 where it says your choice of 1. That mug, statue, and cap will change from month to month. This is going to be the June mug, the June cap, and the statue obviously is the same all summer long. So it's the color of the mug and the statue only that pretty much will change through June. So will the beanie, but the beanie anybody else is going to get, whether they order 1 through 5, you're going to get a beanie. So whether you want a purple beanie or not, if you partake, you're going to get one in June. So that's how that works. Whew. Trying to
What
see.
else?
Maybe the game. I feel like I came in at the perfect time. Oh, you came in at the perfect time. Trust me, you came in at the perfect time. I don't know. Brulee Blue. I don't want to read this comment. Look at you. Just got a box. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean that's another one. I think we're at least a couple hundred boxes back order on Blue. Even. I mean, we got a lot of back. I think I've had more back. We got more on back order with your company this year than I had with all my companies last year put together.
No, come on.
Yeah.
You have standing back orders like Fuente and Padron all the time. They're massive.
No such thing anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Nope.
If they ain't got it, they ain't got it.
Padron never had a back order system. They ship you what you got. You want something again?
Yeah.
You
so
you order it.
That was a back order.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's no back orders ever in Padron.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, Steve, I've never had back order numbers this high with it, which is good. But these are items that we're ordering an absurd amount of each.
Right.
Very few things that I'll say, hey,
I can say this. You've ordered more to load up for this. You're better prepared this year than you were last year.
Yeah, but we just still had to give you an emergency order fucking last week. It just arrived today.
All right. I didn't know that. I don't know.
Yeah. I literally looked at Briggs. I said, we gave the biggest trade show order in my career to Dunbarton this year. How the fuck are we out of shit before the summer of Saka?
Well, just to put it in perspective, so when was the trade show? That was March, right?
March.
So, like when we left the trade show, we had our biggest back order number ever in the company's history. And then we had our very best sales ever in April and May in the company's history. And my back order number is larger now than it was right after the trade show. It's insane. It's just craziness.
Yeah, last year's model didn't have nipples either. Why do you want nipples on them, man?
That's very observant.
Nobody wants to.
Nobody wants to, actually.
Nobody wants to look at nipples, man. It's a chest. It looks cool. The other
you get to bet your artistic choices on the sculpture.
I'm trying to keep up on the comments.
I know, man. I haven't seen our comment screen scroll this fast in a while. Yep. Well, I'm special. I get. You know, he's shy, Chico. He's a shy guy. Big guy, quiet man.
6'6" shy guy. What can I say, you know?
He is
All
a
right.
big, quiet guy.
He's a shy guy.
Chico, you know you need some of that swag. No, we compete.
So
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you.
Bonetti's question.
Hold on. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm never going to make this, just so I don't have to look at the pornographic poses that I will end up seeing with Vincent and the statue.
And the other thing too is there's no way my wife would ever sign off on it.
No.
So, yeah, not gonna happen.
And let me tell you something. He ain't lying. We had to shut down a campaign last year because of the ladies in the office. Our campaigns were a little bit more tasteful this year.
Yeah, they didn't appreciate all the pictures of people on the shitter, and they're like we got to look at this for 3 months. You know, the first one they laughed at, the second one they chuckled at. By the time they got to like number 7 or 8, they're like, okay, enough is enough already.
Yeah,
like, you know, like, and I'm like, call Abe. Like, we're not calling Abe, you call Abe. So I had to call Abe and say, hey, Abe, can you do me a favor and slow the roll on the shitter pictures, because the girls are not exactly finding them as entertaining as we are.
Well, so, you know, we started with the slogan, win epic shit. And I think it started out with, not last year, the year before, I took your Mega Saka Squatch.
Right.
I went and sat in our bathroom at smoking. I held a magazine in front of it, reading the magazine. And I just made the picture, win epic shit, Summer of Saka. And that, it became a thing. Last summer, we had Kevin Sheehan. I know Eli did it.
Wait, the best was Kevin Sheehan, because Kevin Sheehan, once we got it, was like, we kind of got to stop the epic shit. Can you like take a picture outside?
Yeah.
And Kevin then basically did the same shitting picture outside, which didn't get play either.
He literally went to his neighbor's yard and squatted naked. Take a picture like he was taking a shit in the woods. Oh, well, Michael, either that guy is really going to love you or he's really going to hate you. What was the nipple on the cap? What nipple on the cap? You talking about?
I'm talking about Krakatoa.
Oh,
Krakatoa, because the way the Colita is done on the Krakatoa, it looks kind of like a nipple.
okay.
That's what I'm speculating.
Oh, I got to do some research, but they're all in the bigger sizes. I don't like small mugs.
Yeah, they're
I'm
big
not
mugs.
sure. I'm not sure. Hey, Richard, do you have them there above your desk? But you know what? Unless it says it on the bottom of the mug,
won't.
Alex. Yeah, it doesn't say it on the box because it's the same box for all of them.
Right.
We'd actually have to look at the website.
Just checking it out now.
But you know, John, if you really want to know, you can go straight to DeninMugs.com, and if you look at the model of the cup, that's the ounces. It'll tell you on their site. You like that? It's called Do It Yourself.
So, I mean, it's definitely more than 12. This is definitely
No.
more than 12.
That's going to be either 14 or 16. No, yeah, it's way more than 12.
Yeah, it's definitely more than 12. Scott's probably 16-ish. If I had to guess, just, you know, I have normal hands, not ape hands. So
Hold it the other way so we can see the front.
Well, then I got
Yeah. Oh, you got to switch your cigar. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't realize. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a lefty, so green screen.
Oh, the green screen, yeah.
But no, this is a big cup. This is at least 16 for sure.
Oh,
Keeping this one.
We're showing off swag, so might as well.
You know what I
What do you
find
got?
neat about those mugs is the level of detail they can get into them.
Yeah. You got to take your thing off. Show them
Yeah,
that
turn the
because you're a
background
big dude. Turn the background off because you're a big dude. Let's see that. I
Turn your
forgot we just got
background
it today.
Hold on, I'm gonna check that out.
Let me tell you something. I held that for a picture today. That's a fucking heavy cooler. That's a heavy cooler.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. He took himself off the screen. There you go.
He's back.
I'll help.
Yeah, you just go to preferences. Let me see what else.
You got it.
What we have here. Looks like he's rocking that. Kevin wants to know, are you ever going to make a Stein? Who knows?
Here's the problem with the tankards. I'll tell you what the problem is.
So this bad boy right here
Oh, look at that. Hang on.
is insane,
Yeah,
and it's heavy.
Let me see. I don't know how to make you.
That's a
Nope.
beautiful cooler.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, sorry. Let me tell you something. And he's a big dude. Look how big that cooler is. Show the sides with a Dumbarton logo.
Yeah, flip the top too. Flip it. to
Yeah,
the
look
top.
at that. Got a great image on the back. You might as well go all the way around. Don't stop.
Yeah,
No, for real? Yeah, it
you
just
can-
doesn't weigh as much, but it's all right. No worries.
It's all right. You're a big guy, bro. Now you can flip the top. Now you can show the top.
yeah. Show the top while we're working.
Wait, he's
There we
gonna
go.
whack himself with this thing?
Bro.
All right, now
I-
now open it up. I'm just kidding.
I know, right? Yeah. Show the cans.
Poor guy.
No, this thing is gorgeous.
Yeah. So the deal with the tankards, when you get into those tankard sizes, they don't make a box to ship them in. So even if you're willing to spend the extra money,
Oh,
The
thank
tank-
God
the
I
tank-
didn't choose a
right.
tankard.
right? The
Oh.
tankers, they first off they cost like $4 or $5 more each one. So it escalates the cost. But worse than that, you don't have an individual shippable box that you can then send it to a customer. And so I did some tankards early on, and they were really cool, but they're a pain in the neck because you got to individually bubble wrap each one and then try to position in the box so it doesn't get broken. So, yeah. In fact, I just placed another order with those guys. I have them working on some new stuff for me, and I said, hey, do you think could you get a quote to make a tankard box? Because I'd buy the tankards, but you got to give me a cardboard box that I can ship the thing in, because it's just not practical. But most of their customers don't go through as many as we go through. I mean, there's a few companies, like what's that coffee company? The one that's really popular, Death Wish Coffee. They get all their
Black Rifle.
Yeah. They get their mugs bad. They make the same mug that you're giving away is the mug that Death Wish sells for $50 every year.
I'm not sure, Gabe, what this question is.
Is there a tumbler?
You mean the one we showed in the beginning? Is he talking about?
Yeah,
talking about the one that we're
you're talking about the tumbler that is part of your epic prizes.
Right. Is that what he's asking me about? Let me see.
Exactly how big it is.
Oh, I think it's a 14 ounce. This one here. This is the one. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that one. I think it's a 14 ounce thermal tumbler.
Real quick, just a quick recap for a first timer, Anthony. So, when you go to the Smoke In website, there's going to be a header. There'll be an image slider of the Summer with Saka page. You want to order from that particular sale page, and you qualify based on
question. You don't get shit for ordering other people's cigars. You only get Saka stuff for DTT.
Yeah. Summer of Saka is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Summer of Saka, man. It's all Saka. But the important thing is,
Saka.
Yeah. Do not order from the individual product page. There's a promotional page. Go to that. Make sure you order. Your product should say, whatever you buy, hyphen, what does it say? SOS?
SOS
Yeah.
2024.
SOS 2024. Summer of Saka 2024. If you buy a Dunbarton product and it doesn't say on your invoice, hyphen, some SOS 2024, you have purchased from the wrong page and you won't be included in the raffles.
So I have a follow-up question of that, Abe. So let's say they're placing a Summer of Saka order and they go to the right pages. And then for some crazy reason, they want to add on some nothing brand like Padron, a box to their order. They can add that to their order and it'll all go in the same package.
Yes, you can add anything you want to the Summer of Saka order.
Summer of Saka.
Yes. Yes,
and as you're picking products, you'll also be able to see what tiers you qualify for.
Right. So the event page has a floating box, and it will tell you, hey, you're at this total. This is the free goods you get, and if you spend another $64, you will hit the next level. So it's pretty self-explanatory. And if you're joining us late, trust me, this video will be up on our Smoking page and our YouTube page after it is. Go back and watch the beginning. We all break it down pretty good on all the little schematics, and that's in case you miss anything, but we're still happy to answer questions if you have them. By the way, do you have the other mugs by you? Would you mind grabbing them? Because they look so much better when you hold them than Richie or whatever. They look so much better when you hold them than in person. Holding is cooler. No? I'm sorry, I've been gone for 8 weeks. Trying to catch up on the questions. Yeah, that cooler's badass. It's a big, nice Yeti cooler. Yeah, hold on. Let me. I think I know how to do this. Nope, I didn't. Nope. Stay where you are. There's a little. Hold on. Figured it out. Figured it out. That's
why it keeps me around.
Yeah.
I like that blue one too. That blue one's pretty tight. Yeah, that blue one's tight.
Oh, the close-up of this one over here.
And you're right. The detail that they can actually put. I remember when I was showing you some of these, Steve, you actually didn't think they were going to be able to get it in there.
Yeah, they actually look. They impressed me on that one Sin Compromiso mug they did for me with all the super detailed line work in it. I got them working on something really tough right now. I don't know if I can be able to execute it or not, but seeing the way the King Squatch mugs turned out, I was kind of like, okay, well, if you can do that, can you do this? So we'll see what comes out of it. But it's I'm actually really impressed because those are all done by hand. I mean, obviously they make the imprint into the pottery, into the clay, but still to get that level of detail is really quite surprising. They're a great company. They really are. American run, American owned, family kind of business. I love doing business with them. They're more expensive. They are than pretty much everyone else. But the work they do is really exceptional, and we have gone through. And I think it's one of the reasons why the mugs are so popular is because they're not just a throwaway mug. It's actually a mug you want to drink out of. You know, they're just really heavy duty quality. I mean, yeah, if you drop it, it's gonna shatter. It's a stoneware piece. Okay, it's not like unbreakable, but they're definitely real quality pieces of work. And
so to answer your question, Ryan, as in all our giveaways that we ever do, it's a randomized wheel. We do it live, so you can watch it. If you miss it, you can watch the live recording later. But we put all the entries on a I don't know what the software Alex uses, but a randomized wheel. We spin the wheel, and it stops on someone's name. So we'll pick 5 people every week for the weekly drawing, and 125 people. And look, I want people to realize this. We want this so that everybody, we really kind of create this so everybody's a winner, right? If you don't win anything, you got a lot of cool swag with your order of buying cigars you love anyway. But you got to remember, so, you know, there are raffle entries from 4 to 40, right? And we're giving away 5 prizes every week for 12 weeks. So that's what, 60, 5 times 12.
60,
yeah.
yes.
That's 60 prizes there. That's 175 people. 185 people that are going to win something. Now, sure, you could double up, but that's like pretty much almost 50% of the people who are involved with Summer with Soccer, or maybe just under. So like really, because there's a lot of orders, but a lot of people ordering multiple times. So really, I mean, this really is what promotion. We're almost, I mean, a great percentage of people will walk away winning something. And if not, we definitely give you some epic, memorable swag to buy products that you love to smoke every day anyway.
Don, as long as you don't lose those cutters, you know.
You only
right,
need,
Don,
yeah,
2 cutters.
2 cutters on one entry. Yep.
The odds are in your favor. I mean, the way this is set up is everyone's going to win. You just got to play. You just got to buy.
I mean, you got a better chance of winning than you believe.
Eli's question.
No, Eli. No, the weekly raffle tickets are for the week, but if you win during the week, you still, although none of that matters for the grand prize. So all of your entries still go, even if you won, they still go back into the pool for the grand prize drawing.
Yeah, the weekly drawing is just like its own little separate universe to do something exciting every week. Has no bearing on the grand finale outcome. You know, this is funny because I always say this, and people, especially with our pre-releases, but, you know, we like to do things in a sequence, like with pre-release and stuff like that, so people kind of have able time. And now Summer of Soccer is now becoming something everybody's looking forward to. You know, you can always buy that gift card and not use it and stash it away, like one little a month. So by the time the Summer of Soccer comes, you already got your money for Summer of Soccer. And, you know, it's kind of like layaway.
Yeah, no layaway program at smoking gift cards.
Yeah, gift cards.
Yeah, Ian was
actually pretty big for his body.
Ian was a big winner last year. He fared pretty well, if I remember right. Last year.
They are cool mugs. Which mug color will be coming out with tomorrow's order? Chico, if you miss it, watch from the beginning. But it's the purple one.
June is purple.
It's the one that's going to be on the page where you order the products, right? So when you go to the Smoke In event page, and you go to place your orders, this will be there. All right, it's there right now. If you go to Summer of Soccer, those are that's the mug and the cap you'll have to choose from if you want a mug or a cap. It's going to be the purple one. That's going to be the whole month of June. It won't change. Right, there it is. Take that down.
Thank you, Michael. I'm glad you like the blend.
I don't even know where you are. I can't. I'm so behind in the comments.
He was just saying he liked the 127.
I love the 127. Like I said, we're almost out of 127s. You know, if we had ever made this so that I could buy them like online, it would have never lasted. Thank God it's only rare in vintage room.
Right.
Yeah, I smoked that tonight. It was fantastic.
Yes, you guys each have one. You're lighting one up. You got yours, Alex? Or did you finish it before the thing even started?
No, I've had it. Been smoking the whole time. It's almost done.
Oh my gosh, I'm way behind in comments.
So, what else?
I don't know. I'm just trying to catch up to see if there's any other questions. Are you guys all caught up on comments?
Yeah, I think I looked. I think we're caught up. Yeah, we mentioned starts with purple. Starts with purple for June. I'm coming down for Canada. I'll be honest. Any idea shipping time to Washington State? I mean, Washington State is no different than any. Yeah, a couple days. Just a couple days.
Couple days. It's 5 days.
It depends. If you pick USPS priority as your shipping method, it'll typically get to California 2 to 4 days. 2 to 4 days, 5 tops. UPS ground a little bit longer.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. The biggest bane of my existence in this whole business is having to deal with UPS and USPS.
Yeah.
One, people are just so damn impatient anyway. Most of them. You should be. If I ever put out what some people say, it's just ridiculous. But God, these guys can't get it straight. The amount of time we waste with
Well, I think part of this is just we've all got spoiled by Amazon, right?
100%.
Amazon.
100%.
That's because Amazon's built distribution warehouses all across the country, and they basically have their own vehicles running the product now from their own warehouse to their own customers. So, but I mean, it really kind of set the bar to like just an unachievable standard. I mean,
Go ahead.
Either that, no, you go ahead.
Either that or what? Or UPS is just going to basically have to like hire Amazon for the deliveries or whatnot, just because they're just more efficient, So,
well, no, but the reason they're more efficient is because half of they're opening massive warehouses everywhere. So, like for example, I ordered a watch strap today. It's coming tomorrow. That's because it's already in the warehouse that's local to here. They don't have to ship it from so they have these giant places all over.
They opened a warehouse near us, and now sometimes if you order certain things in the morning, they're at your house the same day by the afternoon.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. It's nuts.
It's unreal how fast they are.
You got an opportunity to win 2 every week, Chico. Can't make it down.
Take a trip down anyway.
I will tell you what's annoying, right? This is what's annoying, because I'm going to tell you something. I order a lot of stuff, right? If you place your order with us outside of it's like, a Memorial Day sale, and I think the team is ready for Summer of Saka. I'm going there tomorrow morning to do a morning inspection before the sale goes live. But they had all the swag lined up. They got all the paperwork lined up. They're pumped up. They're ready to pump some shit out tomorrow. I think we're ready. But like, I'm going to tell you something, man. I order shit.
They're going to get slaughtered.
I'm telling you, they're ready, man.
I know they are, but they're still going to get slaughtered.
It's been a whole new warehouse. It's been a whole new warehouse since you've been less involved. They've been doing great.
He's going to push Rick to the max. He's going to get slaughtered.
But I will tell you this. This is where I burn my britches, right? Because, man, I order shit online. I don't get a fucking tracking label for 4 to 5 days sometimes. I mean, before like they'll process it and get out. Oh, your shit's on the way. We get our shit out same day, next day. 98% of the time, and we'll get the guy like 2 days later. Hey, where's my shit?
I'll do you one better.
We got it out the door the same day. What more do you want? Yeah,
you ready for this genius move? So Steve and I were on a Facebook post while he was away, and he mentioned some watch strap companies. So one of the companies that I ordered from that he recommends, they actually charge $5 for a tracking number. Or you can order it.
No,
yeah, it's coming from Stockholm, Sweden. In fairness, but yeah, if you want it with the tracking number, they charge you an extra $5.
And an order from them take over 4 weeks.
Wow. Yeah,
you want tracking $5, and if not, then it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It comes, it doesn't come. It's crazy.
I mean, look, one of our dear friends and loyal fans. I mean, we get it to him within 2 weeks in Turkey. I orders from us all the time. Look, Don, when he's working 12 days in Japan. Right. But the problem is it's all a numbers game. So when you start sending out so many orders, we get more and more people we got to deal with when they mess up. UPS can't find Alabama. That's not far from the truth. That's not far from the truth.
Oh, what is that, Steve? That is pretty cool. Run down. Is that a burner end torch?
Yeah, it's Blazer makes it. It's made for when you're cooking meth or something. It's actually part of their lab equipment series.
Definitely.
I like it because it's super big, super heavy. I never misplace it on my desk. It holds like nearly a half a can of fluid. It's I've been using these as my tabletop desk lighters for, I don't know, 20 plus years. They're fantastic.
It's like a lightsaber when it lights up.
So, Steve, this is something that you being a manufacturer can tell, because I kind of I see the team address this often in the customer service. We address this often, right? So we put Humidipacks in 5-packs. All right. Yeah. And I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. We did that as a standard. It's mostly for show, because I tell people, all right, when you look at what it takes to get a cigar in this country, all the ones that get delivered to the dock, they have to get loaded in, on the container, that have to get loaded on the truck, that have
frozen
to come over at sea. Yeah, frozen freezer, then come over at sea, then land in the US, then go through customs, then get taken off the thing, then get put on transport. The amount of time a cigar spends in transit shipping has little or no bearing into it. We literally put the Humidipacks in 5-packs, I believe, just mostly for consumer placebo.
It's just to make them feel better. Look, I've had this conversation with Abe before. Like, I do not put Bovita packs in boxes. Okay. I know there's companies that do, and I will let them espouse the reasons that they do. And look, I love Bovita. I think it's a great company. I use it in my desktop humidors. I use it in my travel humidors. But the problem that you have with the Bovita pack, for me, when you put it in a package of a box of cigars, is we intentionally dry the boxes. We dry the wood down before we make it. So what ends up happening is the moisture that's in the Bovita pack is not going into the cigars. It's just going into the box and making the box wetter than the box should be, which then can lead to more mold issues in the future. So a lot of times you'll get a Bovita pack that comes in a box of cigars, and the thing will be rock solid and already dried out because the moisture got sucked out of the pack to go into the box. It didn't actually help to maintain the humidity of your cigars. It actually raises the humidity of your cigars too high because it makes the box too wet. Okay. And then that box is then expressing moisture. So I don't like the idea of including Bovita packs in boxes. It doesn't make sense to me. I know that it's become a selling point. And the thing is, I had made this comment on Facebook when somebody asked me about it. Why don't you include Bovita packs in your boxes? And this is the reason why. And of course, I then had some of my retailers who put Bovita packs in all the cigars they ship out to their customers go, why are you speaking bad about us sticking these packs, these humidity packs in the cigars? And I said, listen, you do what you want to do. I understand that consumers have it in their minds that this is important, but it really isn't. The time that these cigars spend in transit from the humidified warehouse to your place is literally just a few days, when those cigars have often spent a transit time of 4 weeks between planes, trains, automobiles, container shipment. I mean, literally, like for us, truck, container to port on the back of a truck, onto a ship, gets offloaded off that container to then get put on a train in a container, to then get loaded from that container onto the back of a flatbed container truck to then come to our warehouse. That's not uncommonly a 21 to 28 day cycle that those cigars have been in transit. The thing is, they're supposed to be the proper humidity when we pack them, and then we seal the boxes. All the boxes are shrink wrapped. The cigars are cellophane. The boxes are shrink wrapped. And then what we also do is we then put a vapor barrier, basically thick gauge saran wrap for all practical purposes, that we then surround the master cartons in to just try to keep the humidity within the cases correct. But this concept that you need to have a Bovita pack for cigars in transit, it's really just it's a mental thing. It really isn't anything that's necessary at all, to be honest with you. It makes consumers feel better, and what can you do about that? Perception's reality.
Am I frozen up? Can anybody hear me?
We can hear you, but you're just not moving.
Oh yeah.
So I'm trying to see if I don't know if Ryan T is the same guy, but like I literally had this email sent to me from our customer service team. This one guy got all whacked out because how are we sending our cigar of the month without Humidipack? So I gave him they gave him the exact same speech about, hey, it takes time in transit, whatever. Oh, you're just cheaping out or whatever. And like all wigged out, didn't want to believe it. And he's never ordering from us again or whatever. It's really, I try to tell him it's not necessary. And anybody who my team tries to explain it to never really gets it.
I mean, look, when you do manufacturers throw Boveda packs in their master cartons when they're shipping them to your warehouse?
Nope.
Right.
Of course not. It doesn't make any sense. So we don't do it.
And listen, Lee, honestly, we've been putting like the Humidipacks in the 5-packs through cigars. We don't put them in the boxes we ship out.
Yeah. So
right.
I mean, to answer the question, look, it's always better when you get new cigars if you just give them a couple, 3 days to just kind of acclimate a little bit. So yeah. But look, I'm like anyone else. I get a new box of cigars in the mail. I want to smoke one right away. So that's what I always do. I crack it. I smoke it. The brands I buy, almost always they're good right off the truck. But if they aren't, I'll put them down for a couple, 3-4 days, and then I'll come back to it and see, hey, was this just a little bit of, hey, because look, part of the biggest thing with shipping too is it's not humidity, but it's just the temperature changes. The cigars are just swelling and shrinking and swelling and shrinking because you understand when they, get put up in a plane, they're in the cargo hold. I mean, I don't know if you've ever looked at the flight display in front of your seat on a plane. It's like what? It's like negative 20 degrees outside, when the cigars are in the cargo hold of a plane. I don't even know what the temperature is, but it's a crazy number, right? So it's yeah. So, but no, I definitely don't think it's necessary at all. But I understand that this has somehow been just kind of worked into what consumers think.
It is. It's like baked into the cake at this point.
It's hard to overcome.
It's baked.
But I'll never include them in the boxes because I actually think it's bad to include them in the boxes. That's my opinion.
And it wasn't you, Ryan. I actually found the message. It wasn't you. You got all wigged out. It's like, I mean, and I'll be honest with you. We used to have the custom made. I mean, look, honestly, we have them. We put them in the regular 5-packs. Like Steve said, it's mostly a placebo thing. We don't do it a cigar of the month because it just makes it that much longer to pack thousands of packages to add one more step to the process for something that's really not.
Well, cigar of the month isn't a money making kind of project either, right?
That's the other thing is. First off, it adds tons more labor to the process when you're doing thousands of packages, and it's such a low, if no margin item. We're not putting the Boveda packs in there. And this guy all got wigged out about it, said we're cheaping it out because we used to have the bags that already had the humidity in it that used to be made for us. We used those for years.
Right.
Then the factory went south. We were starting to get so many that would bust and it would leak.
Yep.
And I'm not kidding you, Steve. We threw out about $18,000 worth of bags.
Literally worse. When I was at JR, we started using those bags, and we had them ruin over 1 million cigars. The bags leaking into the cigars. Now that was in the early years, and that wasn't Boveda. That was another company that's now defunct.
Yeah.
But we actually lost 1 million cigars, and then when they leaked, they turned the cigars green. They had some sort of like weird neon chemical in them. Who the hell knows what it was? But it's wholly unnecessary. I mean, look, I think most people get a little bit too wigged out when it comes to this whole cigar storage thing. And I think the more experienced you get, the more you realize, look, obviously, if you live in Las Vegas, you got an issue, right? You can't leave cigars out. But even in New Hampshire, I leave cigars out on my desk indefinitely, and like even in a much lower humidity. So I don't know. I don't think cigars are nearly as sensitive. I think it's something that a lot of manufacturers just like to lean on when stuff doesn't burn right, doesn't draw right. The easiest thing to say as well is because you're storing your cigars wrong.
Right.
And sometimes that's true, but they're not as sensitive as everyone makes it out to be. They aren't. And the more experienced you get over time, you're going to learn that, the stuff that you wigged out about those first couple, 3 years of you being a cigar smoker, it's kind of like your first child. You get your first child, you're worried about them.
So true. Great analogy.
All these things, you're baby-proof in the house. By the time you get the third one, someone goes, "Oh, little Abe over there, he's licking the outlet. Let him learn." That's how he's going to figure it out.
Steve, that's a question for you, I think.
I don't know what the question means. On what?
Yeah,
what
and-
Saka?
Yeah, and Muestra de Sac. Or Sac. I don't
It's
know.
just
what
the
that was.
sack from Dumbarton with an M, Tobacco and Trust.
From under the sack.
Yeah. I mean, is it about a specific one? I can answer that. But
I don't know. It was vague. Our pleasure, Ryan, always. Yeah, we literally, it was getting so crazy and so disappointing. We literally dumped like $18,000 worth of bags just so we stopped using them. All right. Oh, I'm all caught up with the comments. Thank you very much. Whew. Is there going to be a bronze back in stock soon? Marlene. Yeah.
probably not.
No, there's going to be a little bit. Not a lot.
You held some back?
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
The
Not
notify
one-
me button is your friend.
Well, hold on. But see, here's the problem. And this is why we waited to put them in. Because, I love the fact that our, if you're not, the people, if you're not a member of our smoking social group, trusted, but I love how the fact that our socialites, think they're the only people who buy from us. So, had we put them in inventory when we got them, the stock notifications would have went out to everybody. People who didn't give a shit about Summer of Saka, those people don't even know what Summer of Saka is. Those people would have came in, bought it all out, and by the time this event started tomorrow, we would be out of stock again. So we literally have a big stash of stuff waiting to be entered, right before the event goes live tomorrow morning. Holy cow. And there should be a little bit of everything in stock. How long it'll last, can't tell you. So, there are some things I definitely would say if you want them and want to participate in Summer Saka, I wouldn't wait for the color mug to change. If you're not picky and you're not worried about what you get, Summer Saka, you're fine. Thank you, Billy. We work really hard to keep that page active. Let me tell you something, Steve. That one comment you made, and thank you very much. Kudos, honestly. I deeply appreciate it. But that one little comment you made, we had like 135, 40 people. I was wondering what was going on because usually we'll get in there. There might be 4, 5, 12 on a strong day. It was like 140 people. They may have not been all from you, but you could tell because most of them was because we always ask, what are your top 3 favorite cigars? Dunbarton Tobacco. Some of them even went so far to never heard of you. Just saw Steve Saka's post today. So thank you very much. You brought a lot of new people to the group.
It's a good group.
Thank you. Thank you. I think it's the best one out there. Just me personally.
Yeah.
But listen, like I said, if I'm probably, and you're probably similar to myself, I'm probably, I don't know, maybe in 60 different groups, 70 just they're in my group page. I probably spend 90% of my time on Smoking Social and the Saka Squatch group. And 10% gets divided amongst the other groups I'm in. Let's see here. It's funny. This is a testament. There are a lot of people. Look how many first-time people are here this year who never heard of it before. And that's going to happen every year. Because a couple of things are happening. More and more consumers out there. You got to remember, Steve's still relatively small company.
We are.
We have the same problem. People look at us and they think we're like in the level of some of these major companies. They don't realize how stratospherically gap between us, right?
Yeah, you're just punching way above your weight class.
Thank you, sir.
Right, which is the same thing with us. We're just punching way above.
So, Steve will have a nice amount of people every year that will be discovering his brand as he grows. So there's going to be new people to the Summer of Saka every year.
I would say a lot of people have discovered the brand just in the last probably year and a half. It's really last couple of years. Look, and part of that's too. Obviously, TGS and being, prominently featured as TGS, the promos that you do, the Summer of Saka, the Saka Clause, all that helps to contribute to it. And then, and then you get all the exclusives, all those other stores, just the way you did Red Meat Lovers, they do the same kind of thing that they try to do for theirs. So yeah, there's no doubt that there's a lot more consumer awareness today than there was even just 2 years ago. And And I don't think we've even scratched the surface, to be honest with you. I
Nope.
think there's a long way to go. I mean, the goal is going to be, can you continue making the product consistently great so that the people who are so graciously recommending it word of mouth don't end up with egg on their face.
But to give you
I
credit,
mean-
Steve, at the same time, I'm sorry, Abe, like
No, don't ever apologize. You talk. Go.
you keep on coming out with bangers, and not only the
Plus-
stuff you come out was good, the quality. You know, you could come out with new cigars or even your old line. It's just quality, and I see it. You know, I was having that conversation with Briggs the other day. It's just quality, and you know, consumers they realize it. So, you know, that speaks volume too, man.
Yeah. Look, that's the goal. The goal. Look, there's areas that we can compete, and there's areas that we can't compete. We'll never be a company that'll be able to really compete on price. It's just we just don't have the size and scope and scale that's required to be really 100% price competitive. So the only place I can be price competitive is if I stay within a certain zone, and then I think that we match up quality wise as good as or better than everything else that's in that price point. You know what I mean? That I can do, but I can't make standard, long fill handmade cigars that retail for $7-8 all the time in a core blend. That I can't do it. I can't keep the quality. I can't keep the product the way it needs to be. I can't play in that part. So I just don't. I just understand that that's a limitation for what we can do as a company. Now, if I can have $14, $20, I can compete head to head with the other companies that are making $14 to $20 cigars. But what I can't do is I can't make the profit they make, because those companies that are making cigar that sells for $18, they're making more profit than I am. But I can make enough profit that I can be in the game there.
Right.
So that's just, as a company, that's always where we've chosen to focus, because that's where we can actually deliver a product that's equal to the value of what they're spending, and then occasionally there's some things because of the way materials work out, like an Umbagog bronze back. But even a bronze back, it's still what, a $9 cigar, I think. I don't even know what the price on a bronze back is, but it's right around there, right? So it's not an inexpensive cigar, and it's like a Cuban Corona Gorda size. So it's not even like a full Toro size. So if I made bronze backs that were, Toro size, they'd probably be pushing up to like $11, even in the craft paper bundles. I mean, and that's something that we're going to have to actually think about as a company, because our retailers would rather have Umbagogs in boxes, most of them.
Sure.
I get that request all the time.
Even a cheaper box, even a not extravagant box.
Right, because they would rather have something that's much more shelf friendly, right? Is what they would prefer to have. But I can already tell you, just the way prices have been going, we enjoyed last year a little bit of lull in the inflationary pressure. It kind of slowed down at the end of Q1 last year for us. And we kind of went through until about right around December. And then all of a sudden, the prices have all gone crazy again. So the inflation from like December to now, the costs have all been shooting up crazy again. And it was kind of like, I thought we were through this nonsense. I mean, prices were still creeping, but they were creeping a half a point here, a point there. It was like no big deal. But I'm right now back to like 7-8% inflation on almost everything we're buying right now. And it's just, it's like, I keep wondering when it's going to stop. I mean, is there ever going to be a reprieve from this? Because the thing is, the raising prices doesn't help anybody, because it isn't like we're getting to keep more money. We're just having to spend more money to try to make the same money that we made before. So the prices going up actually it's hurtful to our business, because look, we make a sellable commodity. Granted, it's a luxury commodity, but it's a commodity. It's something that's meant to be bought and smoked and bought again and smoked again and bought again and smoked again. It's not like you're buying a sofa or a television set that you buy once and you have it for many, many years. So this escalating cost thing is just, it's been a real thorn in everybody's side pretty much now for pretty much the last 3 years. It's a problem. And the problem that you have is when you have these costs going up, you really only have 3 choices. The first choice you have is you make the product a lower quality to try to keep the costs in line. Okay. Or you make the product more expensive to keep the quality of the product the same, or you just stop making the product.
Right.
You don't have a choice. These are the 3 options that you have. And we as a company, we've tried to modulate the cost increases, but the reality is if inflation continues to do what inflation continues to do, prices are sadly going to keep going up. And it's not good. It's not good for us. It's not good for our wholesale customers. It's not good for our consumer customers. There's no winners in this scenario, that everybody's dollar is being devalued. There's no win. I can tell you that. Well, isn't that a bummer of a conversation? It's supposed to be
All right.
But
Brian didn't know that you're a veteran. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Navy, I believe, right?
Yeah, we're enlisted squid in the Navy. I enlisted when I was 17. My mother was very happy to sign the papers to get rid of my ass. And I served 6 years enlisted.
All right. So just a little recap if you're just joining us or joining us late. All right. This is about, and I literally seldom will toot our own horn about anything, but this is undoubtedly the greatest cigar event promotion. I shouldn't say event because it's Great Smokes event. This is the greatest cigar promotion I think I've ever seen in this industry across any brand. So it's called Summer of Saka. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to put the link up that gives you all the information, or you can go back afterwards and watch the video because we talk about it in the beginning where we break it all down for you on how epic this event is. I'm posting the link to the page now. Now, if I'm correct, there's no products yet on the page because that'll all go live noon tomorrow. But all the information of what you could win, how you could win, what you get with your order is all on the link I just posted there. So if you're just joining us and you don't know what Summer of Saka is, time to update yourself because this is where Saka stuff is just going to be for June, July, and August. If you're going to spend any money on Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, this is where and how you want it. This is where, how, and when you want to do it. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. I saw that question flow by. Yeah, and it's weird. When I'm enjoying a cigar, I tend to stop and just look at it because it just kind of makes you go. I kind of like mentally go, why is this one so good? You know, what makes this one special compared to the last one you smoked? So, yeah, if you see me just like looking at the cigar, I don't really think about it consciously. I just know subconsciously it's something I tend to do when I'm smoking something I'm really enjoying. So
I want to address this because Jesse, one of our socialites, had major surgery last week, and I've kind of been placing updates. It was a very life-threatening surgery for him, and I've been communicating with his brother. And the last message I asked, I know today is Thursday, so yesterday I said, "How's our guy progressing?" And he just gave me a thumbs up without a lot of dialogue. So I haven't pushed it. Just figured I'd wait to hear from him again because he was very talkative the first couple of times we were communicating, and he just gave me a thumbs up. So that's where it wasn't any bad news. It was just a simple thumbs up. But the last we heard, they took the tube out, and he was able to move his feet, and they moved him from critical to serious but stable. So that's where we're at with our boy Jesse.
Yeah, that's what I got. Hey, Steve, it's Jesse's brother. He's slowly improving every day. Had his breathing tube taken out today, and he has movement in his legs, getting better slowly. That's the last update I got from his brother.
So it's funny, Drew, with this comment. So I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if Steve. I mean, we never really talked about this, but I have always felt this way over the years, right? I think one of your big breakout moments, at least in our culture, in our group, was the digital experience. When it came on, Drew saying, when are we going to have a Saka themed Great Smoke? Basically, almost every Great Smoke is Saka themed. He's been the only company to make a TGS release every year since we started doing it, and he basically is the number one selling brand for the last 4 years at the Great Smoke. And to boot, He's doing the dinner in 2024, 5. So they're basically team. But I really believe that interaction that you had coming on the digital experience, because it was during COVID, man. Everybody was looking for something. You got out there to so many people. Even the banter of Carlito coming out and stealing the Saka Squatch statue from you and whatever. I think in our community that was a breakout moment for you.
No, I agree. Look, there's no doubt that the digital experience exposed a lot of people to the mess that is me. So that part was good. And then of course, when you see somebody like Carlito, who I've been friends with Carlito for a long, long time. In fact, little known story. The very first Opus X that Carlito ever made, he gifted them to me to give away at a cigar event for 300 people. So wow. 300 Opuses that were in the United States before they had Opus bands on them, when they were just prototype blends. He actually said, "Here, Steve, I want you to give this out to your guys," because I was doing a consumer cigar event in Vegas called Boondoggle. So I've had a long relationship with Carlito, and he's always been incredibly gracious towards me, towards my family, towards what we do. I think, look, we're in an industry where most people try to steal shine from other people, and because of how highly competitive it is, and seldom is that actually the recipe for success. You know what I mean? Speaking ill of others. I mean, look, I know in my Facebook, I'm always ranting and raving about some nonsense, but it's always a bit tongue in cheek and a bit of a chuckle. It's not ever meant to be like brutally bad. No, when I have to be brutal, I'm brutal, but no, there's no doubt that TGS has helped to elevate consumers knowing who we are as a company and knowing who we are as a brand. And look, I'm thankful for it. I do whine about it, though. I whine that every year I got to come up with something special to make for TGS. And
he does.
Everybody makes all these really nice packages, right? But look, it's like they're one shot. At me, it's like, oh fuck, I got to do another one. And like, because the point that you'd finish the last one, you already have to be like working on the next one. It's like the never-ending hamster wheel of, okay, I got to come up with something that's TGS worthy to put, and this year I got to come up with 2 things. So I'm going to come up with something that's for the TGS exclusive, and then we're going to have something special for the RML dinner. So we got that. So so this year it's a double dip on the special. So, but yeah, no, TGS. TGS doesn't need any more focus on me. That's for sure.
Let me see here. He told you that, and then you ended up coming down this year.
Yeah.
Our good buddy Michael.
Yeah, no, it's the best event in the country. There's no doubt about it.
You know what's funny is, because I've known you for 25 years, people don't really understand what a depth of weight. I do.
Yeah, because I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Not even that, but you'll very seldom say positive shit like that about any of those kind of things. So I get it. That's, to me, Steve has said 2 things to me in my life, and it comes more from him because we go back really almost 30 years and we've known the same people and we've been in the industry together. But that comment, and our dear friend, mutual friend who you've compared me to, which, by the way, that post you made the other day made me reach out to him. So we're going to get together. We already made a plan to get together in November because he comes down here 6 times a year, because I hadn't seen him in a while. I was actually hoping everything was okay, because usually he comes down 6 months a year and he'll stop by the shop, but I haven't seen him now for a couple of years. So we're going to get together in November. But, I grew in this industry literally looking at Lou Rothman, right? Lou Rothman was like the pioneer of catalog, mail order, online stuff, making stuff, thinking stuff out of the box, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro and then making a cigar after. I mean, just really the first bad boy of this industry. I mean, just like amazing. And Sal Fontana, one of my mentors, was the first to introduce me to Lou, and I was almost enamored by him. I emulated many things he did. He used to do something in his retail store called Midnight Madness or two something, whatever it was. I can't remember what it was called, where he'd open the store for 1 hour, like at an absurd time of night. And we did that a couple of years early in my career. So he was somebody I always kind of looked at and admired, and we became friends, and as years went on by, even more so. So to even put me in any kind of psychological or mental league, you're not comparing me to an obscure person I don't know very well. You're comparing me to somebody I admired and had a relationship for a long time.
The thing that made Lou was a genius. Everybody who knew him would tell you that. But it was more than that. He related to the everyday guy, right?
He is an everyday guy. Yeah.
Right. You got a guy that's super filthy wealthy, but yet he's an everyday guy, right? And he's just a regular knockaround guy. And the other thing too is he was one of the only retailers that was really proactive, where he actually tried to create something, make something more than what it was. I mean, many retailers just sell stuff, right? And oftentimes, and Lou competed on price. That was part of his shtick, was, fast, fresh, cheap. But at the same time, you were also creating a lot of unique products. You were creating a lot of neat programs. You were creating things, and you were always also thinking about, how's this going to be fun? How's this going to be entertaining? How's this going to be engaging? And honestly, Lou did it in an era where you had to rely on a once a month printed catalog to do these things, right? And in the end, before he sold, we did have the internet, but we didn't have social media, right? So the whole social media aspect has so changed everything from where it was back in that time. So, I mean, I can't even imagine what he would have been like operating in today's environment.
Right. I mean, all without social media and all this stuff that we have tools
today.
Yeah,
I mean, but I mean, there's a few retailers in the marketplace that I see that get it. Okay. There aren't many. And there's a couple people you're going to have nipping at your heels in a few years. Okay. You will. There's always competition. Good competition is just the way the market works. Same thing with me. Plenty of great people that make great cigars. I can't sleep. You have no choice. But there's definitely a changing of the old guard into the new guard. And the new guard is much more interesting, exciting, invigorating, and they understand that it's not just a cigar. It's more than that. Cigars mean something to people.
Absolutely.
How they relax. It's how they share time with their family. It's how they share time with their friends. It's how they bond and how they celebrate and how they soothe themselves in moments of solace. And no, cigars have a much more overarching meaning in people's lives than just, oh, I like to smoke. And when you understand that and you connect with people at that level, it means so much more. You're not just selling a rolled up weed of tubes that's brown and round, and
100%. I've always claimed, and I've been never quiet about it, I really got attracted to this business more from the culture than a product point of view. I loved what it represented. I loved seeing the people get together and bond in these moments. People from every different kind of way of life you could possibly think of. It didn't matter. And my best example of this always is that when I'm traveling, no matter where I am, any part of the world, I see a dude smoking a cigar, I will walk up to that guy and we will act like we know each other right away. Hey, what you smoking? Because it's something we share, and it transcends place, time, economic, socioeconomic backgrounds. I always love that. I don't think there's any other product that does that. So that's what I got in the industry for. And you know what? I'll tell you what other thing Lou was amazing, other than just thinking of shit out of the box, and doing things completely. Lou was the first guy I know that made some of the coolest packaging ever. He didn't even rely on manufacturers to make packaging.
Or swag.
Or swag. But I'm talking about even packaging. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. I don't even know if I shared this with you, Steve. When I was just getting into, I don't even know if you know this, Alex, when I was just getting into the online game, like just getting into it, right? So I had no warehouse. I didn't even have a mothership. I had a rinky-dink 1,600 square foot store, and we were shipping out of the back room where my office manager was, and my operation manager was all sitting in a little room. So I reached out to Lou. I said, look, I get it. Online business is important to have the sampler game. I know you buy a lot of things on bulk. I don't think I'm at the level where people are going to send me bulk. Can you send me some things? He's like, well, yeah. What do you want? I said, hey, not a lot. Just enough to get me going. I can make some of my own samplers and whatnot. He goes, no problem. I should have been more specific. I was in a trade show in Vegas. Fucking pallets showed up at my shop. Bro, pallets didn't even make it through my front door. And to him, it was probably nothing. To me, it was like freaking a quarter of my whole inventory in my shop. And I was so embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. And I couldn't send it back, whatever. So I just called. This is how cool of a guy Lou was. I just called him up and said, listen, Lou, it's probably my fault. I probably didn't represent my scale well to you, and I should have been a little bit more specific, but I got a lot of stuff. I mean, way more than we can handle. I'm going to have to find places. And, and I said, look, as far as paying you for this or whatever, he's like, pay me when you can.
Yeah. Don't
even worry about it. Just send whatever you want, whenever you want. I think it took me like 4 or 5 years
Wow.
to go. I'm not lying. It took me 4 or 5 years to go through all that stuff. And I think some of the stuff maybe even was still around when we opened up Boynton Beach and we had to move all the stuff out of our storage. But yeah, I mean, funny Lou story, man.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you're asking a guy with 5 million cigars in his warehouse to send you a few cigars.
Right.
Listen, I never said it wasn't my fault. It was all my fault. It was all my fault. It was 100% my fault.
The warehouse was literally 3 football fields.
Yeah, I mean, it was
40-foot high ceilings, 3 football fields, all professionally warehouse racked. It was insanity, man. It was like craziness.
But lesson to be told, and I tell this to my kids, man, never be ashamed. You fuck up. I literally called him. I said, Lou, I don't know how quick I can pay this bill. You just got to be straight up with the guy.
I get in these conversations with retailers all the time, and they just don't. Lou started from selling cigars out of 2 stand-up cases in a Harlem grocery store. Okay, it was his dad's Harlem bodega. And there was 2 stand-up glass cases like you have in a head shop. That's where he began, right? You began in your 1,600-foot store up in Tequesta. Jeff.
Wait. How many square feet did you say Tequesta was?
Was it 1,600?
900.
900. There you go.
Yeah.
Corona started selling cigars out of his apartment, right? I mean, Nick Perdomo, he started selling cigars out of the back of his trunk. I mean, everybody has to start from nowhere, right? Nobody gets handed this, and they all have to grind and they have to work. And they somehow think that these people that are successful have had some like sort of silver spoon jammed in their throats, that they had some unfair advantage. And it's just not the case. It's just that they grind, they hustle, they work, they care, they pour themselves into it. That's how they're successful. The people that are rich, they're very rarely, they do well, but they don't go from 0 to stratosphere because they don't have the drive. They don't have the burn. They don't know what it is to be poor. You know what I mean? They don't feel that, They don't have the experience of you having to be the guy that Monday through Sunday, you had to open the shop, you had to close the shop. You had to empty all the ashtrays, you had to take all the trash. When somebody puked in the bathroom, you were the guy that had to clean the puke in the bathroom. That's just, you know what I mean? They don't have that experience.
It's funny because like people you don't realize how much sometimes people don't understand, because like I was even having a conversation with my mother-in-law, like, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 months ago? And we were talking about early in my career, and even up until, I don't think we had a real home until with my daughter 10 years ago, right? We had a townhouse. We were all living in a little townhouse, all of us, until my 3rd child was born. We moved shortly after that. But like I was telling my early instructors, like she had no clue. Yeah, she had no clue. She's like, well, what? What do you mean when? I said, what do you mean when? It was like 10 years ago. Just things just maybe started turning. I've been doing this for 30 years. There was 25 years of hard struggle. you know, but they don't realize because they see you have stores, but they don't realize that comes at the expense was we weren't living great.
Yeah.
We weren't doing shit. We're investing any penny I could make into opening another location or building up our website or hiring talented staff to make things happen. I mean, they don't get that part of the picture. They just see the finale. They think you were born into it.
We were really scrapping hard in 2017. It was a brutal year for us, and I was pretty down in the dirt. And
I remember.
And Abe, you look, it was tough, man. It's a hard business, and Abe like threw me a bone. He's like, hey, you know what? Let me run a spiff in my shop. And what a spiff is, we don't do these currently, but it's very common for a cigar company to do a program where if the retailer's staff clerks sell a cigar, they'll get like a bonus for every cigar they sell. Okay. And so that bonus could be like 50 cents or $1. So if you're somebody that's working an hourly job and you're making whatever 15 an hour, hey, if you can manage to sell whatever 10 Dunbartons extra a day, that's an extra $10 in your pocket over the course of the month. It's hundreds of dollars. It all adds up. And so Abe said, hey, let me do a spiff in the shop, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to help you out. And I remember the numbers were so bad that even when you gave your employees a bonus, they couldn't sell the cigars. And you were embarrassed to even tell me the number because it was so sad after a month's time. It was like something like 72 cigars or 82 cigars. It was crazy. It's just so nuts. I mean, and to look at where that was just in 2017 compared to where we are, but that's the point. It doesn't come as easy as everybody thinks it comes. It really doesn't. It's a tough gig. It doesn't matter which side you're on. Manufacturer, brand owner, retailer. It's a highly competitive, tough gig.
All right. Well, listen, we've been on for almost 2 hours. I can see Alex starting to play chess. Richie's putting in. He's laughing.
Oh, yo, hey,
No, bro.
I did the rookie
I know you're
mistake.
making
He just went off and
I
went to the
just went to the
bathroom.
restroom. I did the rookie mistake of going through 2 of these while this live. I was
Listen,
like, man.
I know Alex is making chess moves. Richie, poor guy's putting in OT tonight. Normally, he would have been left about 3 hours ago. I think we covered everything we got to cover and then some about Summer of Saka. If you're just joining us, go watch this video from the beginning. We cover pretty much every question you may have, give you the ins and outs, even some good strategy tips, right? And if you go to smoking.com, you go to the homepage, there's a big banner right there. It says Summer of Saka. Click on it. It'll take you to the page in detail, show you all the stuff. Remember, this starts at noon Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And please find the event page. If you make an accident, go to the product page. There's a big banner that says, hey, if you want to participate in Summer Saka, click here. Do not order from this page. So there's no reason why anybody should be confused. Very excited. Going to get off to a good kickoff start tomorrow. I might stop by the warehouse and just do a live before it starts. Well, I'm going to check to make sure these boys are set up and ready. But I might do a live while I'm there to show a little bit of the prep for the Summer of Saka. And once again, if you're not part of our Smoking Social Facebook group, it's an amazing community that we all work very hard to maintain and keep in a positive light. And Steve's a very active member of our Smoking Social page, so you get a little insight and banter from him as well. Please check us out. And which I got to ask you, KMA tomorrow morning. Best way to start your Saturday every morning, 10 a.m.
That'd be Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's how. What was with the title for this week's episode?
What do you mean?
Summer of Soccer?
Well, it was kind of a play on words. If you remember our conversation, I don't remember what we were talking about with Coop, but he was pronouncing sodas with an R, I think it was.
Oh,
so there was a little bit of a play.
But they spelled it like soccer. It made me think of talking about soccer. You should have spelled soccer with an R.
You didn't?
No, I just saw the title real quick. I just saw the title.
Wait till I show the image.
Yeah, I just saw the title real quick. But catch us every Saturday morning on K. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's funny. Steve's head's in the soccer ball. Okay. I see it. That's pretty funny.
What was that soccer ball called?
Summer of Soccer.
No, on the what's his name? Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, it was Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah, Wilson.
Wasn't it a volleyball?
Yeah. I
Was
think
it volleyball? Was it
I think it was a
volleyball? Yeah, it was volleyball. Never mind.
I
Scratch
know,
that.
guys. My head's all over the place. I know it's only Thursday. I get it. Steve, any closing thoughts before this whole madness begins?
God, we talked enough already. Let these people go.
Get your King Squatch.
Let
You want the
them
game.
go. Let them go
Fine,
plan out how they're going to ruin their economic futures.
All right. We'll see you all Saturday. Thanks for joining us. Richie, Alex, thanks for being here. Steve, as always, deeply appreciated.
Thank you.
Till next time, everybody. Peace. We love y'all. Keep it lit. Are you taking us out, Alex? I don't know. We have an
I am.
outro or not. We have an outro?
I don't have an outro. Nah, peace. That's the outro.
All right,
Peace.
that's what we got.